What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. You are watching TWA Motorsports, and in today's video we are going to continue some progress on the Trans Am. Got some new parts, got a few that should be here within this video, but the first thing we got is we got a new lid. Because I'm going to stick with the LS6 intake, I went back with an SLP lid. So we got that in. We're gonna get it put together here. There's really not a whole lot to do. It comes with a plug that goes in the side. Obviously this ring that snaps it down. But the piece that I'm missing is the new smooth bellow, or what they call it. But what I do need to do is I need to put this guy in. This is the IAT sensor and the little rubber grommet. Guys, if you lose this, I don't know what to tell you, because I don't think you can get one. Other things I want to do, so that'll button up the intake side of things. Like I said, I don't have the smooth bellow yet. I should have it in this video. But I need to take the wheels and tires off, and we need to get the brakes bled so I could try to run it through the gears. So I think I'm going to put this together real quick, and then we will, I guess, move on to the brakes. One of the things I wish SLP would do is make different variants of this lid. They have the nicest product on the market when it comes to lid. It's the thickest, it looks the nicest, it's just good. But okay, we've got a plug that goes in the side here. If you buy the 98 and 99 when it comes with the plug, guys, if you buy the other one, the one for the 2000 up, it does not. And then you're gonna have to source your own plug, and I've tried to do that in the past and it's a pain. This is for the air injection pump. I've obviously removed that. So we're gonna put that in place. And then, like I said, I'm gonna put a little silicone on this, and we'll slide that guy in there as well. If you ever have issues putting that in, a little dielectric grease on this first, and then the sensor. This right here is also kind of a pain, but if you get it started, you just push it through the middle. You can see kind of how it sets in there, but got it all assembled. I'm gonna make sure I wipe it down. I don't want any grease. I mean, I didn't get any grease on the actual sensor itself, which is on the inside. You wanna make sure you don't get any on that. The last thing we need to do is we need to clean this with some alcohol, this leading edge here, and that is where this strip goes. I thought my camera was recording, but I heated this up and I went ahead and put my mass airflow sensor in there. And I've got it just sitting in here, and you can see what I'm talking about. This thing fits incredible. We'll see how the little bellow fits in, but we're all locked in now. I wanted to roll this over to the bottom, but you can see you can't do that. It would hit the base. So yeah, just gonna have to live with that. I may put some loom over that because I don't like this red, brown, and whatever wire there. So anyway, on to the brakes. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to bleed them myself. I didn't want to do this in the last video, basically, because I was tired. Normally I have somebody come out and pump the brakes, and somebody gave me a hard time saying I just basically gravity bleed, and you could do that too. But I've got this Motive air bleeder, power bleeder. It's got a billet cap that bolts right onto the top of that. So I got to fill this thing up, pressurize it, and then I've got my handy tool for actually catching the fluid, which you could use a Gatorade bottle, but guys, that's worth every penny. I think they're like 20 bucks, and I use it all the time. So anyway, I'm gonna go off camera, get all the wheels off, and we'll fill this thing up with some fluid, see if we can get these brakes bled. Now, as far as how this works, it's pretty simple. We pour fluid in this thing, we screw this cap on, we pump up pressure, and we start bleeding. Now, what this is going to do is we wanna make sure that we top off the fluid in the car, which it already is. But this will ensure, you gotta keep checking this both for pressure, and you wanna make sure that the level doesn't get too low, because what it's going to do is it's going to fill it up as we're bleeding each brake. And so you don't want your master to go dry, otherwise that kind of defeats the purpose. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and fill this thing up. We're going to start the furthest away from the master. So we'll start driver or passenger side rear, driver side rear, passenger side front, and finish up in the driver side front. So I'll kind of show you in and out once we get rolling. But let me get this thing filled up, and let's bleed these things. Here's what we got. Got it pumped up. You can see the caps on. Make sure you get it good and tight. It's going to be a snug fit. I top that off with fluid. Okay. Now I've aired this up to 1 bar. or 15 psi roughly, and it's holding pretty steady. It's been sitting like this for a couple minutes now, so no leaks that I can see. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through and start cracking bleeders. I'm going to go ahead, do the back first, like I said, passenger side rear. After I do that one, I'm going to come up here and check that obviously this hasn't ran out of fluid, which we've got quite a bit in there, and that this is roughly at 1 bar still. And then I'll go to the driver's side rear and then working my way back up to the front here. So pretty easy process. The only downside to this, guys, is the cleanup afterwards. I always like to clean all my lines out so there's no brake fluid like setting in it. That takes me a little time with some alcohol, but anyway, let's go get it started. We're ready to go. I really need, they make one of these with a magnet on it. That'd be kind of nice, because sometimes you can hang it out here, but that's just too much of a stretch for where this is at. But we're gonna crack these open, let the air and the pressure blast all the bubbles out. This is what we got out. You can see we went through a lot. I wanted to also bleed the system. Now, this is the second time I've done this on this car, but yeah. The back had quite a few bubbles. The front wasn't too bad. The front, guys, I did that back when I was chasing leaks down on the new lines that I made, because we put that aftermarket K-member in there, so I made new lines. But now let's see if we actually have brakes. I think they should be. Oh yeah, we're good now. Wonder. Oh yeah, yep. I'll test it a little bit. I need to get that piece back in before I start it up. Let this thing sit overnight. A couple things I've noticed. I think we got our coolant leak fixed down here. You notice we don't have any drips, which is good. Also notice that we don't have what doesn't look to be any brake line leaks. That's good. So I got this piece in. We can put that on the lid and finish that up. This is the smooth bellow. I'll list it in the description down below. Looks pretty decent. It's not the SLP one. I actually don't think SLP sells one of these anymore, which is fine because they were overpriced. I think they were like 90 bucks. This one was like 50, I think, 40, something like that. I don't know. I'll list in the description. Let's see if we can get that thing on there, and then I can start it up and make sure we've got some decent brake pedal. Now, don't expect, regardless of which mass airflow sensor you're using, for this thing to fit great. Fits decent on the bottom, but on the top you can see it's kind of overlapping a little bit. So I'm going to trim it, probably just with this, I don't know, maybe a razor blade. The bottom seems to fit decent. We're up against the throttle body, but the actual piece, and I've got the lid in place, but it's giving me some fits, not wanting to go in all the way. So I am going to trim a little off of the top of that, make it fit a little nicer. Well, after a little bit of trimming, got it fitting on there. Clamps are a little big, but look, we can live with that. Okay, now I need to just get a piece of loom to put in that little area. Makes me nuts. I don't like it. Let's start this thing up. Let's see what happens. See if we got any brakes. We probably don't. Oh, it's tough to get in. I'm getting old, guys. Brakes feel good. Oh yeah. We got all the brakes. Put it in reverse. And no reverse. Oh, we got reverse. And we got brakes. Can't see what's going on over here. Now we're in drive. No drive. I don't feel real confident in my shifter. That's first. don't know, guys. I'm not sure it's going into gear like it's supposed to. We'll check the fluid again. Everything else seems to be working fine. I need to get a jumper wire to fix the ABS and brake. Aside from that, I'm gonna have to put some more gas in it soon too. Goodness, it's noisy. As you can see, we got the wheels and tires back on that. I told you guys there is a method to get rid of the ABS light on the dash when you are doing an ABS delete. There is a jumper wire that you can plug in that harness. I'm gonna have to look that up. I will show you guys that when I do it. But I was really hoping to have a little more in this video, but the torque arm that I ordered has yet to arrive. Now, I did talk to them, it shipped. It's supposed to be here tomorrow as I'm filming this, but didn't get enough time to slap that thing in. So, yeah, we've got a few things to tidy up. I have to get that in before I get it like set on the ground. I've got to put it in before I tighten up the exhaust. That means I have to pull the drive shaft back out because the new one I bought, it is a long torque arm design. So it's going to have a transmission mount incorporated as part of it. So it'll be a trans mount, and then a long torque arm and then a drive shaft loop, but it should fit with that exhaust. Once we get that in, we can put the drive shaft back in, lock the exhaust into place. I need to reach out to my painter and see about the rear bumper, then we can get the back bumper on. I'm gonna leave the front bumper off until we get everything aligned. I may even have it tuned with the front bumper off and do that later, but I also need to lock in the lower control arms. So on the front of this thing, we went with the UMI adjustable control arms, at least I think they're UMI. They're just loosely, I mean, the bolts are in them, but they move. So if I set this thing down and put weight on it, it puts a ton of negative camber and the A-arm slides. So I'm gonna have to lock those down, but I'd like to get it relatively close before I get it on an alignment rack. And I think this thing's gonna be fun to align. I don't think it's gonna be the easiest thing to align, just because F-bodies in general, there's a special tool that fits in the stock K-member for adjustment purposes. That will not fit in this now because the stock K-member's not in this. So I'm not exactly sure how good it's gonna be as far as alignment goes, but we'll figure it out. But we're getting closer. You know, I was really, like I said, I was really hoping to show you guys that torque arm in this video. But in the next video on this thing, I'm gonna show you the torque arm. Maybe we can get the exhaust locked in. Maybe I'll get lucky enough to have the bumper back. Maybe we could knock out some more stuff, but we're really close to getting this thing on the road after we get all that stuff done, get it tuned, drive it. It's been a long time. But if you did enjoy this video, guys, please, like always, smash that thumbs up button. If you are not subscribed, go down, hit the subscribe, ring that bell notification. That will notify you every single time we drop a new video on this or anything else. And stay tuned to see what we work on next.